Alright, hello. Welcome to my stream. I am Wallaber, and today we're going to continue working on... Turn that down a little bit for me at least. Try to get the volume to be a reasonable level here. Yeah, so today we're going to continue working on this Twitch chat game I have been making, which is called Chat Predicts. And making some good progress on it lately, so that's why I wanted to get in another session working on it. So, where are we at with this? Well, today we have a few odds and ends I want to do. One of the things I was noticing with the previous version of this was that when I actually tried to deploy it into my stream and run it for a long time, we were seeing disconnects and issues related to that. And so I wanted to put in a little extra code to try to at least like notice if like where is it going to be? It's going to be here. Like if we get disconnected from the chat or something like that, we could at least note it and try to understand like what's going on. So I already have a few things here. Like I have an on connected and I have an on connection error and a general on error, so that's good. We could probably add in, let's see what else there is here. Oops. Okay, so we have on being hosted, on channel state change. What's this? Okay, on chat cleared. Okay. Chat color change, chat command received, community subscription, connected, disconnected. So we probably want to see, we want to try and know about that. And I wonder if we want to try to reconnect or something. We could try reconnecting. We get disconnected for some reason. Let's see what else we've got in here. On error, failure to receive join confirmation. Gifted sub, hosting started, hosting stopped, host left, incorrect login, left channel. Okay, on reconnected, we probably want to learn about that. For now, we're just going to debug things out, and then when I run this for a long time again as a build, we can check the log later if we're seeing issues. Let's see. Unaccounted for? What does that even mean? Okay. User banned, user joined, user left, VIPs. Okay. Alright, so I just wanted to toss in a few extra debugs there to see if any of those actually occur, and if so, you know what to do about it. Okay. Now, the next thing I was going to do, which will be a little more enjoyable, is we're going to add some new object types into the game. One of which I definitely wanted to try is like a little like seesaw type object. So in the last stream, we set up so far 3 different board layouts that can possibly be set up. So let's add one in now that has like a little spinny wheel. I'm going to drag in this layout here, and then we're gonna rename this to board layout 4, or to board 4, and then let's try making a new thing. So let's see. I'm just thinking a little bit about my layout code and how it may not be awesome for, like, if I have something I've just authored in the level, I would need at least some placement logic to run. I guess I could do that. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, okay. All right, so let's do this. So we're gonna. Really? Let's mark this as a variant. Okay. And we can go in here. Yeah, I don't like editing it inside the prefab, but it doesn't like me deleting things, which is kind of annoying. So we're going to say get rid of this wall and get rid of this wall. Okay, I'll come back out. Okay, so we're going to add a new thing called a spinner. And let me think a little bit about how this is going to work. We're going to need a flexible layout on it. And we're probably going to need a little script. Yeah, I don't love the way this is probably going to is trending in terms of the structure of the code, but I'm not really all that jazzed about like really truly digging in and cleaning up my little like layout system I wrote. So this is just going to be, we're just going to have a simple script like this, and then the board on start, we should be able to, down here, perform any child layout actions. Okay. All right, so this is going to just going to do this. Place on start, placers equals, get components in children, place on start, for each, place on start, placer in placers, placer dot place. All right. Gee, I wonder what we're doing there. I guess we're placing some things. Okay, so then this is going to need a method called, and this is just going to, let's look up how flexible layout works again. I think it has, so unit absolute place. Yeah, or it has a thing called place, which does exactly what we want. Places itself at its authored position. Okay, so we just want to do this. We just want to do, actually, yeah, so let's just do this. We'll say flexible layout is get component if layout is non-null, and then layout dot force place. Ah, come on. There we go. Okay. And all right, so back to what we were doing. Okay, so we have this thing called spinner. All right. It has a layout thing on it, but now if we're just going to plop it in the center of the scene and kind of build it first. This thing's going to be, I mean, I could make it a variable size. Like a wall just sets itself up on start, right? Yeah. Yeah. We really should be doing this too. And also we do any... Did we do anything on start here? I don't think so. Okay. Actually, I'm kind of surprised. I guess it's because update layout was calling it. Okay. Alright, so this will just make sure everything's placed properly here. Alright, so yeah, let's make this thing like programmatic. So we're gonna have a place on start on here, and then we're gonna make a new script called spinner. And spinner is gonna allow us to sort of define some stuff about it. Why didn't that open? Okay, so for example, we're going to have a private integer, which is, what do we call this? We'll call this spoke count. Okay, yeah, and then private float spoke length, and a private spoke width. Okay, and go back and look at my wall thing here. So it has a shapes.rectangle for its visual and its outline. We may want to do this more like prefab-ish for the spinner. Yeah, right? So then we could be like serialized field, private, we'll call it, well, we're going to make a thing called the spinner spoke. And we'll call this spoke prefab. Okay, so we're going to need another script called, about time to start organizing these scripts, spinner spoke. This is going to be one piece of the spinner. And so then this one is going to be able to, so what does it need? It needs a base and maybe an outline. Okay, and then a collider. Okay. And then the spinner is going to have, oh, we don't need this. We'll just do a private rigid body 2D RB. And then on start, we will be like RB equals. Now we need, I'm thinking about the order of events coming up soon here. So actually, let's do this. Let's do this in awake, so that we can grab our reference early, and then let's see. What we could do is we could have place on start. I don't know. This is getting kind of weird, but we'll do public. What do we call this? Interface. I place on start. What are we calling this? Subscriber. Whatever, and it's expecting a thing called did place. Okay. And so then what we'll do is whenever place is called, then we'll also do I place on start subscriber subs equals get components in children of type I place on start subscribers, and then for each of those, did place. This is just so we can kind of control the order of operations here, because what we want is this before each. Well, like, one of the things that's a little tricky with something like Unity is that you can have a bunch of different scripts that all have a start method. And by default, it is undetermined what order those start methods will be called in. And so, for example, I want when the level loads, I want the spinner to make sure it's placed at its like authored location, which can't just be the location of the transform because we're going to have aspect ratio support. And so if it was authored for one aspect ratio and we want the positioning to be adjusted slightly for a different aspect ratio, it means we can't just go with the position as is in the prefab. So anyway, after it gets loaded, I want place on start to happen first, to actually place the object. And then after that, I'm going to want to do my physics stuff, like create a hinge joint and attach that object to the world so that it will sit there and spin in the exact right spot. So by creating, this is maybe a convoluted way to do this. Let's see, the sequence of events now is going to be when a board loads in its start, which maybe that's gross, but in its start down here, we find all the place on starts and we call .place on them, which is why place on start does not have a start method set. Oh, hey, Losing League, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. This does not have a start method set because I want to control the timing of when we do this. And we're going to call this specifically from inside level board start, right? And then I was just thinking, oh, I have this thing called spinner, and what it needs to do is create a joint. But I don't want to do that until I'm sure that we've been positioned properly. So what I can do now, though, is I can say this thing is a iPlace on start subscriber, and it's going to have a public void did start, or did place, I think is what we called it. Yeah, see that this is happy now. And then here is where we will do our setup. So what this is going to do is we're going to instantiate as many spokes as we want, set their values, and then attach the create a hinge joint with the rigid body. I don't know if we're ever going to need a reference to it, but why not hold on to one just in case we want to do fancy stuff later. So essentially what we're going to do here, first create the spokes and place them. Now this should be pretty simple because we're just going to go for int I equals 0, I is less than spoke count, I plus plus. And we want to essentially walk around a circle, evenly spacing spokes, such that there's an equal space left after the end, which should be easy enough. So what we should be able to do here is we say float interp, which is just like what's the interpolation around the circle, equals float I divided by float spoke count. And then we can say float angle is equal to interp times 360. So on the first one, that'll be 0, right? 0 divided by whatever count is 0. 0 times 360 is 0. Let's say spoke count is 4. So we should get 0 over 4. And we should get 1 over 4. And we should get 2 over 4. And we should get 3 over 4, which is exactly what we want. So now what we would be doing here is, yeah, and so we'll just do spinner spoke. Spoke equals instantiate the spinner spoke from the spoke prefab. And I think here I can even set the parents. Let's do that. We're going to set that to this.transform. Okay. Then we can do spoke.transform.local position is just going to be 0. We're going to set the origin of the spokes to be at the edge. So if we put that at the center and then rotate them, they'll spin around that center point. And then we're going to do spoke.transform.local rotation equals quaternion.angle axis. We really could just use Euler angles here, but I don't know. I like angle axis, you know. So it would be angle, and then it would be vector3.forward. So we're saying a vector going into the screen forward. We're going to spin around that vector however many degrees, which is the same thing as setting the Euler angle z to a number, but I like to stick with quaternions as much as I can. Okay, and then, I don't know, we'll just set spoke.transform.local scale to 1, even though it should already be. And then finally set the size. So we're gonna have a thing called spoke.setSize. We're gonna pass in spoke length and spoke width. And that's actually going to set the collider and the visuals to look correct. Okay, now that we've gone around, we've created all of our spokes, we should be able to create the hinge. And so this will just going to be joint equals add component, game object. You got to do it on the game object. Game object dot add component hinge joint 2D. And then we probably don't need to set many properties on this thing. We're just going to set our anchor to be 0. We want it to be in the center of the object. And anything else? Nothing else, I think, for now. Okay, so let's go implement this set size on our spinner spoke. Okay, these are otherwise not going to really have anything. This is a pretty benign, is that the right word? I don't know. Class. Float length, float width. Okay. So then we will just do something like collider dot size. Yeah, equals new vector 2 length width. And then we do base rect dot size length. It's width and height, I think. So this is going to be width is going to be length, and height is going to be width. Then we'll do the same for the outline. And then these may need to be separate game objects. So I don't think there's like an offset. Is there? Is there like a center or a? I doubt it. Oh, pivot. What does this do? Center or corner? No, we don't want that. We want them centered, so we're gonna assume these are separate game objects, and we're gonna say transform.local position equals new vector 3, and this is gonna be length times 0.5, aka half of the length, and then that's it. So we go like this, we go like this. Okay. Now, it would be nice if Spinner could preview for us how it's going to look. So we're going to do public void on draw gizmos. I don't think I can do shapes functions inside here. Oh no, losing league. I didn't notice that you redeemed my new redemptions that I just added into the chat. If you're still here, I will happily recreate some of the jelly car sounds for you. And a few days ago, I took some time to spruce up my Twitch settings a little bit. So I named the channel points, and I added in 2 new redemptions, and, or maybe even more, I think. I don't know. But anyway, let's see. So Jellycar, of course, there's the classic Jellycar car itself, which is basically just, and then, and I would switch between those two depending on how fast you were driving. And then there was just all the impact sounds of the game. Boing, bow, bow, boing, bow. Pretty sure that's what it sounds like. So, thank you so much. No, I didn't do like any post-production on them. I basically just recorded them and put them in the game, chopped them up to fit the size, to be trimmed, and that was it. I don't even think it was on a nice microphone. I don't even remember what I recorded it with, actually. Yeah. Oh no. Oh no. Have I underpriced it? Boing. Boing. Wait. You can do it 15 more times. All right. Well, maybe I'll add a cooldown. I kind of like making the jelly car sounds, though. It's fun. Oh, show us a custom Rubik's Cube. Okay, now you're in for a treat. So, I have, you know what I need? I need a shot that's just like, hang on. Okay, let's go like this. Sorry for not seeing anything on the stream right now. And then we'll go like this. Hopefully I can do it this way. Oh no. I have a problem with OBS where... Let me see if I can figure this out. Copy this. Go to here. Paste... I don't want to paste a reference though. For some reason... Oh, this is how I do it. Aha! Ooh, no. Okay, hello. This is huge. Okay, I'll back up a little bit. Okay, so I have over the course of well, the last like year and a half, when I was still fully employed and I wasn't quite as I wasn't working quite as hard on indie game stuff. I kind of got sidetracked into a hobby of making my own weird Rubik's Cube style puzzles. So obviously everyone knows the standard Rubik's Cube, which is oh, that's funny. Ooh. You know, the standard Rubik's Cube, right? And my son in particular was getting really into Rubik's Cube and watching cubing videos on YouTube and stuff. And I'd always been interested in them too, so I started getting into it. So we started buying a bunch of different cubes, learning how to solve them. So I can definitely solve it. I'm not particularly fast at it. Then I started finding videos of people who were modifying or making their own custom cubes, which I thought was super cool. And I had a 3D printer, which I hadn't really used very much because I hadn't really thought of like a cool project to use with it. So anyway, these kind of things are perfect for a 3D printer because they're like a simple object. It's all plastic parts basically. There's not much hardware involved. And you can just come up with something, design it, print it, and assemble it, and you have made a brand new thing. So I got really into trying to invent my own similar puzzles. So since you redeemed one, we're just going to show like maybe one. Let me think which one would be a good first one to show. I have a handful of them just off frame here. I wish this one was working better. Is this one working? This was one of the first ones I designed. Yeah, so this is one of the first ones I made. And so this is like, essentially it's like 3 donuts, 3 Taurus. Until I really like Tauruses apparently, because my video game I made recently was a Taurus themed game as well. That are sort of like, you know, intersecting around each main axis, and you can kind of like see through it. And the way this thing works is you can turn it like this, or like this, you know, like see it turning here, here. All right, and it can turn like this, and so that is essentially. Do I have one here? I don't. This is essentially a 2x2 Rubik's Cube, right? Each corner piece here is connected and is one solid piece. But it's kind of like a cool fancy 2x2 because it's like, you know, you can see through it. And then the last part is you can kind of see there are these little like leaf pieces here, like this, and you can spin these. Let me see if I can show it. You can spin these like this and exchange them. So if I do a turn that will actually cause 2 colors to, so if I turn it halfway like this, and then we turn it like this, hopefully I can get this to go. This one is really old. I'm kind of amazed it's even working. It seems a little stuck. There we go. There we go. Okay, so I've turned it enough now that, for example, here we have black and gray. And so now I can spin this, hopefully. Yeah, like this. and I can exchange those two pieces, and so I can scramble it a little bit more. And then you could, you know, put it back like this. No, not like that. I'm probably going to get this thing scrambled and then screw it all up. Yeah, so this one's kind of cool, right? This is really fun to design because it's really interesting to think through the idea for the puzzle, but then the sort of the technical challenge of how do you even break it up into pieces and how do you assemble it. So this one, I was really happy with my solution for how I actually assembled this puzzle. And you can probably see in there, but there's little screws inside. And so all of these pieces here are split right like that. And so like I could take off the top half of one of these sections and pull it off like this. And then you can get to all the pieces on the inside. So you could fully take it apart, put it back together. It's a pain in the butt, but you can do it. And this was one of my first designs, so it's not the funnest to play with because you have to be very careful with it. But yeah, that's pretty cool, right? This is the what did I call this? I think I called this the triple torus. Let's see. How did I even? Oh. Okay. There we go. And then go like this. There we go. Now it's back to. Sorry, I did that off the camera. I'm not used to holding this up in front of the camera. Yeah. So that's triple torus. Feel free to, in the future, redeem as many of those as you like. I've got plenty. Okay. Let's see. What were we doing? I don't remember what I was doing. Oh yeah, we were about to make the spinner work. Yeah, I thought it would be kind of an interesting redemption, right? Not every day. Streamer hat. And I happen to be sitting here like I have a bunch of shelves up right behind the camera here with a bunch of my creations. They're fun. I kind of got burned out on making them because I sort of ran out of ideas. But still like the idea. And it's fun, you know, fun thing. Kind of like making a game. You come up with an idea and you make it. I do like that you have a physical object afterwards. Okay. So we wanted to draw in some simple way a preview of what this thing is going to look like. So what we should do is we should do something very similar to this. Yeah. And then we're going to even want this same code. And then we can be like gizmos, is it TRS or what is it? It's like set matrix or something. Gizmos.matrix equals matrix 4x4.TRS, which TRS stands for translate, rotate, scale. So the translation in this case is going to be transform.position. The rotation is going to be quaternion dot angle axis, just like I did above. Angle vector 3 dot forward, not whatever I just typed there. And the scale is just going to be unit scale. So now that we're in that space, yes, then we can do gizmos dot draw cube, I guess. Yeah, or we'll do wire cube. Why not? So the center is going to be new vector 3 spoke length divided by 2. And the size is going to be new vector 3, and it's going to be spoke length, and it's going to be spoke width, and spoke width in the Z, even though that doesn't really mean anything in this particular instance. Okay, that can't be that simple. Let's go look at this. All right, so we must have a compiler error. Yeah, we do. What do we got here? We don't have enough end curly braces. Okay. develop like a sixth sense for when there's a compiler error, because Unity doesn't freeze up for quite long enough to be a proper compilation. Kind of sad. Wish it was faster. Okay, so we'll put spinner on here. Okay. Now let's go look at this. So if we look at this thing, spoke length is that, spoke width is that. See, look, and we have two spokes. This is what I would expect it to look like if we have two spokes, one going off one way and one going off the other. If we make it 3 spokes, we should see. Nice, look at that. And of course we could make 4 spokes and it would look like that. Okay, and this is giving me a preview of how big this thing's gonna be, so we can set it. You know, we can be like, okay, yeah, I want this spinner to be like this or whatever. And so for this level, what I think we want to try and make one that just has two spinners that almost go the width of the level, so that wherever the ball comes down, it's going to cause them to spin and bounce. And I think that might be quite interesting. So just to test this out, though, we're going to say, let's put one smack dab in the center of the level, just like that. Okay, and yeah, let's make it, you know, we'll make a big one just to test things out. So like that. Now we need to make our prefab for the spokes themselves. So let's just create an empty. We'll call this spinner spoke. And then let's just imagine it's sitting over here centered, which the code is going to do for us. Or no. It's going to be placed here. And then it's going to have... yeah, it's going to have a collider, which is going to be a capsule collider 2D going in the horizontal direction. Okay, and so let's imagine this is offset right now, even though it's not. And this is, that means, yeah, X is going to be this value, and then Y is going to be this value. That's what we want. Now let's look at this. So if this is at 0.2, the spinner says 0.2, that's what we want. So those match up. We don't need to like divide by 2 or anything. It's going to be great. Okay, so that's that. Then we can make a shapes rectangle. It's also going to be out here like this. This is going to be rounded. And for now, let's just do some size. And let me go look at our wall prefab. So what did we have this at? We had this at, we had the basic backward, the back part of the wall at 10, and then the outline at 11. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing here. Although, yeah, we might actually need a like a little circle or something in the center to mask that all these little outlines are going to overlap. That can be like a little thing we add. Or we could just add it to this, actually. Okay, so this is going to be the visual backing. And then we're going to have the visual outline. And the outline is going to be this type. Okay. Yeah, something like this. Okay. And hopefully I don't know if we're going to get to it today, but one of the next things I want to do after this is I want to add in a palette system where you can give the game a palette and it will recolor everything in the game. And so I'm going to try and think of a simple way to author the different palettes. So it'd be very easy to just add a new palette to the game. Like, let's make it the Game Boy palette and throw it in, and suddenly the whole thing would have, you know, Game Boy shades of green colors or whatever. That will make the game suddenly look really, really nice compared to right now where everything's just like random colors I've been selecting as we go. But just to test this out, we don't need to worry about that too much yet. Okay. All right. So that's what a spoke should look like. So let's make this thing aware that it's a spinner spoke. And here's the base rect, here's the outline rect, and here is the collider. Okay. So now we can make this into a prefab, like that. And then we can get rid of it here. And Then we just let this thing know that that is its prefab. And then we do need to do something here. Spinner spoke also needed to set the collider's local position as well. Like that. Okay. All right. Yeah, let's also add a little centerpiece to this. So we'll do shapes disk, I guess. Yeah. And we just want a solid disk that's like, I guess we'll scale this thing actually. Okay. This is just going to be like a little pivot in the center. Okay, so we're going to let Spinner know about this thing. So it's also going to have a shapes.disk center disk. Okay, and then we will set that right here. Radius equals spoke width plus, you know, or like times, no, plus 0.05 or something. Slightly bigger. Okay. All right, I think we're about ready to hook all this up and test it. So this idea here, okay, so now we've got this board. This thing is too narrow. Make it like that. Yeah. And then it needs to know about this. The disk needs to have its layer set to like 15. That's always drawn on top. And cool. Okay. It would be nice, actually, now I'm thinking about things here, is that if I want to test a level, right now I don't have a great way to do that, because when we hit play, it's going to randomly pick a level from this board list. So let's just add a debug thing. Private bool test in scene level, which should default to false. But then here when we say load next board, if we have one already, yeah, then we can say if we're testing the scene level, then we say current board equals get component in children of level board, and then do we do anything else with the board here? No. Then we just return. Yeah. Okay, so now in theory, here, like here, it froze up long enough that I know it compiled. Okay, so we're going to say test the in scene level. And then if I hit play, we should see this level, like, load. It did not, though. At least not properly. What happened there? Okay, we got ourselves some null references. What's this one? Level board. And we're missing... What are we missing? Why would this be... Oh, rect. Level board. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. It's because this gets set somewhere. Where does it get set? I think it got set in that part that I skipped a second, just moments ago. Just moments ago. Yes, right here. So we need to do this. Okay, so actually what we should do is we should do this, else, and then put in here the part where we create a board. Like this. And we can just move up this to be inside here. Like that. Okay. Yeah. And that should be good. Okay, let's try this now. See, that was really fast. So did it not compile? Oh, it did. Surprising. Oh, nope, still got a problem. This is on start. This is on start, and the problem is now, see? So we're not going to do in start. We're going to say initialize board. Okay. Did you ever get the game to stop working shortly into session? No, if we get this working here, I think we will try running it just in the editor for like a little sustained amount of time and see if anything breaks. I'm hoping that because I swapped out some of the internal Twitch lib code, that it's now fancy and more robust code. That's what we're hoping for. Okay, so now that we have this function called initialize board, then game manager right here needs to actually call this. This is what I was talking about earlier about order of operations stuff. There is another way to do this in Unity where you can go and there's like a list of and you can put the scripts in different orders and say make sure you always execute this one before this one. But I kind of like having it more explicit in the code. All right, now we might still have a null ref somewhere. Yeah, we do. What's this one? Init board. Oh, where does this get called from? Gets called from here. That's weird. We call load next board. Oh. Oh, this is why. What is it? Where do we set the parent down here? Rect.transform. So we need to do this. Rect. Like that. But we're looking in the wrong spot for the board. Okay. Now it'll probably work. Ooh, interesting. Okay, something went wrong because we never got the like the board didn't load properly. Okay, so can we debug this? Let's go here, say attach to Unity. Oh, dang it! Stop. Stop. I don't want to return anymore right here. Okay, try that. We're not initializing the board properly. Okay. Now we should be initializing the board properly. There we go. Okay. So, now what happened is the ball did hit this thing, and it rotated a little bit. But we're not going to get to see that in the playback right now. But we do have a spinner that looks pretty good. So you can see it looks like what happened is we bounced off the wall, and then we're going to hit right here, and it's going to rotate about this much, or possibly 1 1/4, whatever. It's going to rotate a certain amount, and that's going to influence the ball here. So yeah, see there we see it bounce off of it. Okay, so now what we need is we need a recording similar to the ball, but for the spinner, so that we can properly replay what happened to it. And this is where we now go and oh wait, first let's make a prefab out of our spinner because this is nearly a thing now. Okay. Now, let's go look at the ball. The ball has this thing. It has a board recordable transform script, which the job of this script is to return snapshots of the state of this transform. Okay, and then it can be restored. And so we already have a manager that's going to go find all these things that say they need to be recorded. So in theory, all we have to do to make this work is we have to add this script, board recordable transform, onto the spinner. And this thing needed a rigid body. Kind of surprised it even turned at all. We're going to want to set the mass on this as well. Added component, apply to this. Okay, and then we need a recordable transform. Yes, yes. And added component, add it. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, we have a hinge joint. We have a collider. It's looking flat like it's supposed to. Let's see what happens here. Meow, meow. Okay, didn't hit it yet. Didn't hit it yet. Okay. Ooh, did you see that? Look at that. Pretty cool. I think we're gonna have to work on the mass a little bit. This thing is very low mass. It's kind of weird to see playback like that. Yeah, because it's like stopping and restarting. Almost wish now that we had like a rewind, rewind. With like a little VCR effect or something. Yeah, look at that. Cool. Okay, now we're recapping nothing, which I think we're going to put in some code to prevent that. Okay, here's another one. Let's watch one more. This looks pretty good. Now I think when it's simulating the ball right now, we're actually seeing the spinner be affected by the ball really quickly there when it does its simulation. Ooh. Yeah. Oh, look at that. So it bounced off and then bounced up and hit the other piece. That's cool. This is going to make for some fun ones. Oh, look at that. Is it going to go in 2, or is that... See at the end there how it's spinning around? Is it going to kick it and bounce it into 3? Let's find out. Oh, it did kick it, but not enough. Interesting. Okay, so I think that the spinner needs more mass. What's the ball set to be? Its mass is 1. Now really, you know, like if you can control the size of this thing and the number of spokes, I almost wonder if the mass should scale with that. So it's like, you know, length times the number of spokes or something like that, just some heuristic. I like that idea. And then maybe a value for density. Because later we might want to make like a metal one or a whatever. Let's do it that way, right? That'd be fun. So we're going to have a serialized field, private, float, density. And then here, set the mass. So this will be like float m equals. I have to lurk for a bit playing Jackpot with some buddies. Yeah, cool. Have fun. Those games are really, really fun. Enjoy. All right, so oh, a new one came out. Oh, I'll have to check it out. My kids are getting older. It's about time to play some of those games with them. This is going to be spoke count times spoke length times density. Yeah, now in theory, yeah, this should be fine. Well, I mean, we could do a thing here where we say math dot max of 1.0f and then this. So it's like, if for some reason it's trying to set a really low mass because we made a tiny little thing, it will not allow it to be less than 1, which I think is a good idea. And then we can say rb.mass equals m. Okay. Now, another question is, do we want any... We have a little bit of angular drag here. Do we want more than that to kind of make this a little less like... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Let's try 0.1. So now if the density is 1 and we run this, we should see that this mass is going to change. Yeah, the mass is 12 now. Yeah, see, look at that. That's a little better. Like, it doesn't react as much to the ball. It does look a little jarring now when we reset the simulation. I like it though. I really like having some moving objects. This is cool. This looks like it's going into one, right? On this board now, if I made this into a board, bucket 2 would be very rare, I would think. Maybe not very rare, but pretty rare, right? This is pretty cool. I think maybe we'll put this back. I don't know. Okay. Run it again. Yeah, you see that? There's a little glitch there where you see it simulate. I wonder if we should hide that during the sim. Probably. Let me think about how we're actually doing that right now. If we look at Game Manager, Nita. I will let you know.
Crazy.
Have fun. Don't stay up too late. Okay. So what I wanted to look at is the simulate routine. So we have this thing called current board.setBallVisible. Let's go look at this. So ball ref just has a thing called set visible. We might want to expand the concept of this a little bit to contain the idea of hiding anything that needs to be hidden during simulate. I like that idea. So we could change this to say set visibility. And then we would say, like, are the standard things supposed to be visible and are the ghost things supposed to be visible? Okay. And then we could we're gonna redo the ball so it doesn't work this way. Instead what we're gonna do, yeah, is we're just gonna, I guess I'll make a separate class for this, or a separate CS file for this. So we're gonna create a C#, we're gonna call it I visibility target. I never know what to name this junk. Okay, so I visibility target is actually going to be an interface. It's not going to inherit from anything. And it's just going to have public. I mean, I wonder. You know what? Actually, let's do this. Let's do it like this. So it's actually gonna be a class. So let's get rid of the I. We'll just call it visibility target. Let's go back here and let's fix that. Okay. Okay. And by default, the way this is gonna work, oops, is we can have a thing that's like hide all renderers, which would be the default behavior. But then there's also a thing called private renderer. Renderers to hide. Okay. And the way it will work is, and then it's gonna have a thing called public void set visibility. And then the other thing we need to do is we're gonna have a public enum visibility category, and it's gonna be called normal and ghost for now. And then we're gonna have that set. So serialize field private visibility category. Gonna default to normal. And then we're gonna have a public visibility category called category with a getter. Just returns that. Okay. Okay, and then we say set visibility and we just say bool visible. Okay. So then what we can do is we can just say like if hide all renderers, then renders to hide equals get components in children of type renderer. And then we just go for each render r in renders to hide r.enabled equals visible. I mean, it's a little weird to say hide all. It's like, whatever. It's fine. Okay. So now we have this concept of a thing called visibility target. And then what we can do is that the... Where are we doing this? We're doing this in the level board. Okay, set visibility. We're saying, hey, what do you want for standards and what do you want for ghosts? And then instead of doing this, we're just going to loop through all these, and we're going to cache the visibility targets. So we're going to have a private list of visibility target. Come on. Viz targets. Okay, and in initialize board, we're going to gather the visibility targets. So we'll just say viz targets.clear, which is dumb because it should be empty, but and then add range of get components in children of type visibility target. Okay. So now that we have that, here we can just say for each visibility target t in viz targets, and then we can say t dot set visibility, and then we say t, and well, here let's do it this way. So bool visible equals standard visible, and then we can just say if t dot category equals ghost, then visible equals ghost visible, and then we just set here visible. Okay. All right. So now what we can do is we can go back here. We can go to our ball prefab. We're gonna add a oh, looks like we have a compilation error. What do we got? Ah, yes. So yeah, here we're gonna say set visibility. This turns everything off. Then here it turns on just the non-ghosted thingies. Okay. We have this down here too? Yeah, what is this? Okay, so this is going to turn on both. And this is going to turn everything off. Okay. Okay. Now, okay, we're compiling. So now the ball needs a visibility target, and it's a normal, and it's just going to hide all of its renders, which should just be this thing, disk. Although I don't know if disk actually inherits from renderer. It probably doesn't. And so what we could do here is we could also, right? Let's double check that. Renders to hide. Do we have a renderer on this? Oh, we do. There's a hidden mesh renderer. So this actually should be okay. We can leave this empty because we're going to say hide all. Okay. All right. And then let's go to the ghost ball, which is just a similar thing. And we're going to add a visibility target here. We're going to call it a ghost. Okay. Is that enough to get back the behavior we previously had? Okay, we didn't see the ball during the simulation, and we're seeing it now. So that's looking good. So now we should be able to go to spinner and do the same thing. Add a visibility target and call it a normal type. Come back here. Now when we run it, the spinner should be disappeared, and then it should appear. Sweet. Okay. This layout's actually kind of cool. One big spinner. Maybe I should move it up a little bit. Almost wish there was this thing had a ghost showing you the end position, just like the ball does. So like right there, it would like freeze, and you'd see like where it ends up at the end of that playback. I do want to put in a little quick rewind now because it's so jarring now when it resets. Okay, so, and then there was something else I was just thinking of that I need to do. I can't remember what it was. We also, I think we want to do a thing here too, where when we call reset ball or whatever. Yeah, here. Oh, we already have a thing up here. Where is it? Ball start vel angle half range. Yeah, so right now it's going 90 to 90, which means it can start very, very horizontal. It means it won't really like appear in the level very quickly. Of course, the other thing we could do is we could bring these down a little bit. Like right now they're at 17. They're like pretty high up. They could be more like 16.5. See how that looks. Yeah, there, even when the ball is at its start position, yeah, it's like basically out of the frame. So what was that? That was at 16.5. Okay, I like that, and then I want to change this to be like 75. And we're going to apply that globally. And same thing here. So if I apply these all the way back up to board 01, what that means now is that in theory, if we go here, no, if we go here, we delete this, and we say don't use the scene level, and instead include all these boards, including board 4 in the list. Now if we go look at like board 1, for example, we should see these are, yeah, these are lower now, and we have a 75-degree, yeah, range. Cool. Okay, so now what I think I want to do real quick is I want to bring this one in, and then we're going to call it board 05, and oh, did I not apply that? I don't think I did. Okay, so let's go back here and let's add our spinner back in. There. There we go. So that added game object needs to get added. This is a override in board 04. Okay, so board 04 is real now. Let's test it. Okay. Now let's make a board 5. Board 5 is going to have 2 spinners. Just because I think that would be cool. So we're going to have a spinner at 0.25, maybe like 0.33. And oh, this is interesting, yeah. Oops, I don't really want to change that. I just want to change this. So like maybe 1.75. Okay, and then there's going to be a spinner right, which would be at... Okay, they're overlapping quite a bit here. Okay. Okay, this could be interesting. Maybe let's make this like... Okay. So let's say that's board 5, which is a variant. Then we get rid of that. We go here, we add it to the list. Okay, now we've got 5 boards, including some with new spinner objects in it. And then what we should do real quick is we should save, and we should... I wanted to do a thing where we keep track of how many votes came in for a given round, and if there were 0... No, it's not the number of votes necessarily. It's just... sad. We'll call it lonely stream question mark, and then we can say if user entries dot count equals 0, then we just yield return new wait 4 seconds 0.5f, and then we return. I think we can do that. Or is it yield return? Or is it yield break? Is that what it is? Yeah, it's a weird syntax. Because this would do a bunch of stuff and then undo a bunch of stuff. And if we just don't... Well, we can't do that. We have to at least make it here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so we can just do this. We're just going to be like, wait a second, and then do that. Okay. So now if we do this and no one is currently voting or anything, it should just move right on to the next level. Why is this so empty? What's the deal with board 3? Okay, better write that down. Oh, what's going on here? we lost our walls. Oh, board 2's got walls. Okay, board 4 has its thing. Board 5 has its thing. But board 3 doesn't. Oh, and it seems to be because board 1 lost its. Oh, I wonder... Okay. Now let's add them back in. That's okay. I think I know what I did wacky there. Okay, so board 1 had a wall. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, no. Oh, first of all, this is offset. Needs to be here. Thank you. Okay, so board 1, what did we want for this? We were gonna be like... Yeah, this one was pretty cool. So it was just like... this. Like that. And then we had... I think I know what we need to do. Okay. We're gonna rename this to board base. It's not gonna have any walls in it. And then this is gonna become board 1. Okay. So this is gonna be a 1 and a... Okay. Okay, so let's say that we like that. So we're going to bring this down into here as a variant. Okay. Get rid of that. Go to game manager. We don't want board base. We want board 1 variant. Okay. And then board 3. Oh, shoot. Yeah. Did I do that right? Let's just make sure. Board 1. No. Dang it. Board 1, go to the layout, please. Yeah, okay, cool. Now we can go and we can grab board 3. And we can give it some walls. So this one was the one... This was our pachinko-y one, right? Pretty sure? So this one was going to be like... Let's see. Maybe it should be this, and this should be like that. Okay. Yeah, something like this. And then this one would be... There we go. There we go. Then we're going to duplicate that. And this one's going to be at the center. I'm going to duplicate that. And this one's going to be at 0.75. Okay. Alright, now this, we just have to go like this, and we have to say apply all. Okay. Now let's go put this in fast mode real quick. 2 seconds each. and run it. Almost feels like the spinner is too heavy now. Oh, this one's just going straight down into 2. Look at that. Okay. Well, this one was originally the pachinko-y one. It's missing the first 2 walls because they got removed accidentally. That's what happened. We should change that one to be the mountain one. Yep, I think those things need to be a little lighter. Okay, so we're going to do a couple things. We're going to grab board 2, 3. Nope, nope. Board 2. Yeah, and we're going to say, actually, yeah, we want to go into board 2. We want to delete this, come back out. And then this one, we want to be yeah. And then, ooh. That's because of this. Okay, and then we're gonna say, what are we gonna say for this? We're gonna do something like that. What was this? This was 0.5 and then 0.7, so this would be, oh, and what was the other thing here? Okay, 0.5, 0.55, 0.7, and then 0.5, 0.5, 1.2. Something like that. Okay, and we're going to apply all. Get rid of it. Okay. Okay, so which bucket will the ball land in? I feel like we need to do a little rewind thing. Let's do a quick rewind thing. So this is going to be not recap, reveal sequence. Okay, and what we do here is, so here we're looping through. Where do we actually reset? We reset right here. So let's do this. Quick rewind effect. So what would we do? We would do like float rewinder equals, 0.33f or something. While elapsed is less than or equal to rewinder. Then we do like elapsed plus equals time dot delta time. Then we say float rewind interp equals 1.0f minus math clamp between 0 and 1 elapsed divided by duration. Not duration though, rewind duration. And I feel like, let's do this, rewind elapsed. So make these more specifically named because we're like in the middle of a big function here. Big coroutine actually. Okay, and then we should be able to call. Yeah, so we can say recorder, set playback frame, mathf.lerp, start frame, end frame, rewind enter. And this can just be truncated to an int, and then yield return null. Right? We're doing this in fixed update style? Why are we doing this in fixed update style? Probably a good reason. Okay, so let's do time dot fixed delta time, and then new wait for fixed update. Okay. Okay, let's see if that did what I think it did. So now in theory we should see a little quick rewind effect. Yeah. Maybe we could throw a little effect on the screen that's like some lines coming across the screen or something to be like rewinding. Yeah, I think that's helpful. Ooh, look at this. This is gonna be an interesting bounce. Oh. Okay. Let's create a little, like an overlay or something for rewinding. What would be the best way to do that? We don't really want that built into the board. Because we could do something like this. Okay. And then we would actually like turn on trails. Does that work? Let's see. Okay, we want this to be like oh, it's scaled by that, huh? Or they just don't live long enough. right. And I guess what we want to do actually is we want to just do a burst. Okay, like that. Okay. Okay. All right, we'll see how this looks in a second here. This is probably getting pretty close though. Okay. So, rewind. Okay. So we'll call this rewind particles, and then we're also going to add just a straight up text mesh pro here. We're going to have to do some, I guess actually this could have a could this have a layout, a flexible layout on it, and then we put it like this, and then we can say it's just centered. Hey, maybe we can do that. Okay. Okay. Do we have a font yet? Not really. Okay. Okay. So then real quick, what we're going to do is we're going to say rewind particles is not looping. Like a 2-second long effect. You just hit play on it and it does its thing. And is there a reason it's not showing up in the camera? Yes, because it's way the heck out here. Okay, cool. So that's what we want. And we're going to just put it in the foreground. Nice, okay. Not like the most amazing effect ever, but probably gonna do okay. And then what we can do just for now, this is kind of gross because this script is just growing and growing. But we'll do this for now. Okay, and so we're gonna do a few things here. We're gonna make sure, let's see. So when we load a board, we're gonna also make sure that the rewind.particles, so that one's fine. The rewind text enabled. This is just a game object. Set it to false. Yep. Okay. Init board, start simulation, blah blah blah. We simulate. And then in here, when we do our rewind right here, we play the particles, turn on the thing, turn off the thing. Okay, so look at this. And then we just need to assign this. So here's our particles, and here is our game object. Okay. Not bad. Let's go here. Game manager, reveal steps. Let's set these back to real numbers. And I think we have one more thing we're going to do tonight on this. So, these particles need to be faster. Okay. Maybe actually instead of doing 3 cycles, what we could do is we add one here. So we say there's just one cycle with like 3, and then there's one with 8. Oh wait, and this needs to be like 0.1 seconds later. Okay. And we add another one at 0.2 seconds. That's back to 3. Okay. Oh, hey, Matsi, how's it going? Wait a minute. Oh, dang! Sarah! Get over here!
We just got a raid. We just got a raid. We just got a raid.
I wonder who it's from! Wait, then we would go like this. We'd be like, it's from Matsi Makes. For all of you Blue's Clues fans in the audience, that is my daughter's amazing idea to transform the We Just Got a Letter song from Blue's Clues into We Just Got a Raid. We're gonna keep working on it. Got some ideas how to spruce it up even more. But we did just get a raid, and it was from Matsi Makes, who raided us with a party of 13. Thanks for dropping by, Matsi.
Oh, it hasn't updated?
Yeah, all of a sudden, I just got all sorts of stuff happening. What is going on? Choo choo, Matsi. Hype. Hype. He's so focused, he missed the alert. It's true dedication. Hi, Wallaber. How do you feel about raids? Remember earlier when I said you just focus on code? This is what it looks like. And welcome, everyone. And then Matsi Makes is just gifted 5 subs, which I think basically means everyone that's ever watched this channel ever just got a sub. So, holy cow. Thanks, Matsi.
When did they raid?
Sometime in the last minute, I think. I don't think I missed it for that long. But maybe I did. I was working on a particle effect, it was really...
Yeah.
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 Oh my god, we got more gifts. What's going on here? We've got a hype train. I've never had a hype train before.
What's a hype train?
Hype train is when like a bunch of junk happens all at once on your channel. You can see it happening right here. We're currently
so much is happening.
85% on our way to a level 2 hype train. So basically, like if people gift subs or subscribe or whatever, then it kicks off this thing, which basically like encourages people to do even more.
So,
and I've never had that happen before, so I should introduce myself, right? Hello. I know Matsi knows me, but some of Matsi's viewers may not. Hello, my name is Wallaber. I am a video game maker. That is Dollaber, aka daughter of Wallaber, who's significantly more interesting than me, but a little young, and so not like visible on the stream so much these days.
This is me.
There you go. That's her avatar. So yeah, I'm a video game maker. You might know me from such video games as Jelly Car or Where's My Water.
Whoa, whoa.
Oh my God, Matzi, calm down. Calm down. Calm down. You're gonna make me. Oh, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. Everyone who has ever been to this channel has yeah. So okay. So I made a game called Jelly Car. You might have played it.
Legit.
I was the lead designer on a game called Where's My Water, yes, which also we had cool follow-ups to that and a bunch of games. So I was at Disney for a while. Everyone in the world is getting subscriptions. Oh my God, I'm hearing these notifications. I did not hear anything from the raid. Maybe I don't have a. I think I have it set up. Anyway, yeah, I'm a game dev. I've recently gone full indie. You can see over there the game I recently finished and released. BitGamey, hello. I'm seeing a few names I recognize here in the chat. Let's see, Vlad H. Luch Labs, I don't know if I've seen you before. Hello. Is it Kent0456? Hello. Sugar Stacks. Hello, Sugar Stacks. I saw you in Matsu's stream earlier today. And I'll just keep talking over all the... Luch Labs, thank you for the follow. I don't know how to catch up with all this. This is crazy. Lost Hamster. Whoa, Jellycar brings me back to having the first iPod Touch. Yes, it was an early App Store release. Boy, Kent, I think it's Kent0456, is really giving you a hard time, Matzi. For such a generous person, you brought over someone who's really giving you a tough time about focusing. Vlad H. Oh my gosh, you know Wallaber's Trampoline. That's amazing. Yes, so I also created a game called Wallaber's Trampoline, which was a trampoline game. And then I just recently made this game I was talking about a second ago called Pro Gymnast, which is another gymnastics-themed game. I am a lifelong gymnast myself, although I'm sporting the dad belly these days. 200 hours in Wallaber's Trampoline, Vlad. Vlad H, thank you so much for that. Well, Vlad H, please, like, send me a whisper or something, Vlad H. If you actually have 2 hours in Wallaber's Trampoline, I will be happy to repay a small amount of the kindness I have just received in the chat today by sending you a code for Pro Gymnast, in case you don't already have it. But yeah, if you're interested, please check out Pro Gymnast, my weird gymnastics game I recently released. Now, what am I doing right now? You've beaten Pro Gymnast. Oh my gosh, Vlad H. Well, darn, I was hoping to have something to offer you. But if anyone else in the chat is interested, I should repay some of this generosity. So hit me up and let me know, and I will hook you up with a key. But what I'm doing right now is actually not gymnastics related whatsoever. But I've been enjoying doing streaming, especially streaming making stuff. I like talking through things as I create them anyway, and so I wanted to make a game or something that I can put into my stream that chat can play along with. And so I've been working on this thing called Chat Predicts, and so we should be able to try it out right now. This is amazing. We can do a little play test. So this is you're gonna see it here. This is a prediction game. Okay, my rewind effect is a little obnoxious at the moment, isn't it? Maybe a little bit distracting. Hang on. Let's calm this down real quick. Those particles I was so focused on that I didn't even notice a raid. Let's just back off on these particles a little bit here. We're also going to go to this text, and we're going to. Oh my God, what is even happening right now? Level 5 hype train complete. I don't even know what that means, you guys. All I know is that Matzi needs to chill. Matzi, it's fine, okay? All I ever did for you was answer like 2 questions on Discord, and I hang out in your stream pretty frequently. You have to read all the subs. Hang on. Okay, so part of the problem is I have this like weird view of the chat. It does not show everything unless I go over. Hang on. Matzi. All I did was I helped you out on Discord like 3 times. Not even 3 times, like twice. Okay. And then I hang out in your stream sometimes. And I hang out even more actively in your lovely wife's music streams. But that does not necessitate these levels of generosity and hype training. Okay. I don't even know what's going on right now. I'm sure my channel isn't really set up to properly support this because I don't even think I have like cool emotes or anything set up. Okay. Let's take a look here at who now is the sub to this channel. Okay. Hang on. Okay. Losing League. Vlad H, one of my new favorite people who has completed Pro Gymnast and played Walrus Trampoline. Clash of Codebot. Austin Jean Reeve, I've seen you before. Edgy Sprat, I've seen you before. Hello and welcome and congrats. Okay. Quiet Gecko. S Tier Games 1, MLK Dev, Sugar Stacks, Shiny Seabass, Vimlark, hey Vim, Tori OO or Tori with like a cool face after it. BitGamey, a regular on the channel. G-Rare, another regular on the channel. Mathis. Is that it? Nope. Faxmane, Luch Labs, Arnuf, Gen2 Games, I've seen your streams, hello. Stephen Last.
Hi, dudes.
And, okay, we made it through. Oh my goodness. Oh, hello. Hello, viewer with a Korean language handle. Nice to meet you.
I gotta go, guys, but if you're still streaming after I'm off call,
Oh, you were busy.
I may come back.
Okay, I interrupted my daughter significantly just now, but we got a chance to sing the raid song. Thank you very much, Matzi. I only hinted at it a few times, so you picked up on the hint very well, and I very much appreciate it. Let's see, where do we set the where do we set stuff? I don't like how the text is showing up behind stuff, and I want to do a playtest, but whatever. Okay, let's just have a look at this game I was trying to show off. Okay, so this is a prediction game. Let's just get rid of the text for now. I'm sorry. It's just, it doesn't look good. Okay, this is a prediction game. You are trying to guess which bucket the ball is going to end up in. So you see that yellow ball is bouncing, and then we're rewinding and we're showing it again. And you're trying to guess, is it going to end up in bucket number 1, bucket number 2, or bucket number 3? The way you participate in the game is you just type the number into the chat. So there, Matzi Makes did a great example there and typed in number 2, and you can see right here it said that people have voted. This number at the top of the screen is how many points you will get if you get your vote in right now. So right now a vote is worth 300 points. Let me see. I'll play along. I think it's going in 1. So basically, the longer you wait, the more likely you will get the right answer because you can see more of what happens. But it's worth less points. You cannot redo your vote. Once you've voted, it's locked in. Okay, so now once this one runs out, we're going to get to see the final result right now. And we're going to see that, okay, the ball bounced around and hit this little spinny thing, boom, boom, boom. And oh my God, and it went into bucket 2. And then we get a recap here. So here's all the people that voted, and the scores were tallied. Matzi was the only person who got it right. No one else did. And now we can go on to the next round. If you would rather have a cool picture to represent you, as opposed to just that weird little icon, you can type !emote, and then any emote, like that, and it will now set that emote to be your picture in the leaderboard. So there you go. We can see that Vlad H just set his to Vlad H Pog. I set mine to Wallaby Aha, which all of you have my 2 emotes now. If anyone wants to use the Jelly Car one, feel free to use it. You can set this as much as you want. Of course, don't forget to get your vote in. This is obviously going in bucket 3. And then we'll see here during the next recap I don't think I like my rewind effects. I just stubbed that in and I was way too focused on it. Do you know Korea? Oh, not really. I do speak Japanese, but I don't know any Korean. I'm very, I'm familiar with Korea, the country, obviously. Especially I lived in Japan briefly, so I'm pretty aware of many things Asia. Okay, there we go. See, now we got emotes going on. We got little Luigi there. We got Vlad H's Pog. We got Wallaber's Aha. And of course, Matzi, who is emoteless, is in the lead with a significant lead. Now, if you get it wrong, your score is cut in half. Okay, so you want to make sure you get a good one. Here, I'm gonna go in faster because I need to catch up. Now, you might think to yourself that the pace of this game is kind of slow. That's on purpose. And the reason is, in theory, this game would just be constantly running during the stream, off to the side somewhere. And so it's intended to be something that chat can kind of just play along with while the stream is happening. But this is a great opportunity to do a playtest. Okay, so we got lots of ones coming in. Twos. I do want to do a thing where if there's enough people in chat, when we go to the recap, I want to show like a pie chart or something to show like how many votes were for the different buckets. But looking pretty much like bucket 1 is a lock here. Vlad H, how did you end up implementing the emotes? So to make this game work, I'm using a thing called Twitch Lib. And you cannot change your vote, Kent. You are locked in. So you got to stick with it. Dang, Matzi. Pretty commanding lead. You can go AFK. If you're AFK for 3 rounds, nothing happens. Your score stays the same. And then after that, every round, your score drops by like a couple hundred points each time. So the idea is that over the course of like a long stream, you'd see people like taking over first place, second place, etc. I still think that my particles are like too busy. Here, we'll just like simplify that a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, this is a lock in 3, right? Oh, sorry, Vlad H. So yeah, I was having a problem before. I'm using this thing called Twitch Lib, which is a great library that allows you to very quickly get connected to Twitch chat and be able to do things like see these numbers people are typing in and use them to do something in the game, and see the usernames and stuff like that. And it, in theory, had support for emotes where it would be able to tell you, oh, there was an emote and here's the URL so you can grab the image from that emote. But it wasn't working. And it turns out that the Unity prepackaged version of Twitch Lib was really old and did not have the emote support in it at all. Even though the code was there, it just didn't actually return results. So I, off stream, Frankensteined up a newer version of Twitch Lib into Unity, and that seems to have solved the problem because now I'm getting the proper results and I can query and get emotes. This is a hard one. Like, we're gonna get a significant number of bounces here, but I'm gonna go for it. Matzi is kicking butt. Oliver, what were your favorite / least favorite things about living in Japan? Least favorite is going to be hard for me to think of. I had a really fantastic experience living in Japan. I loved it. I lived there. I did an exchange program in university, and then after I graduated, I went back to Japan. Ooh, bounce off the peg, but we're still going to get it back in bucket 2, I think. And I had a great experience there. I taught, after graduating, I went back and I taught English in Japan for roughly a year. And then after that, I got a job working for a TV production company. So I actually got to work on a kind of like crazy Japanese TV show. And it was fantastic. I loved it. I love the culture. I love the food. I love the... I love living in an urban place like Tokyo where you don't need to drive a car. Public transportation works really great. And the lifestyle in general. I personally didn't really have any issue with kind of living in a smaller, space than maybe I would have living in the States. Made a lot of friends. Really enjoyed learning a new language and, you know, seeing my own country from the outside. So those are all the positives. I have to actually kind of really think if I'm going to try and come up with a negative. Oh, Quiet Gecko, thank you very much for the follow. Also, if you want me to embarrass myself, I did add some stupid redemptions for the channel points, which I call the ahas or whatever. It's not like aha, like when you realize something. So if anyone wants to redeem any stupid crap while we're here, feel free. I have a couple that are unique to the channel. But yeah, let me think about something I didn't like about Japan. I guess the main one probably, and actually this is a double-edged sword because this is one of the most important life experiences I ever had. But if I was going to live there forever, it would probably sway slightly more negative than positive. And that is, you know, I'm a white dude who middle-class, suburban American. And so for me, never having the experience of being a minority growing up, going and being in Japan and being a minority, being an other, right, being a foreigner, was a really, really great experience for me. I think it really helped me understand that a lot better, and coming back now and living back in the States, having had that experience, I feel like I'm a more, you know, like well-rounded and thoughtful person as a result. However, it doesn't mean that there's just like, you know, there's this constant, you know, feeling of not being, always being something a little different, right? You know, it was kind of like it's kind of like a prejudice with training wheels, because, you know, I would get kind of the nice version of prejudice or prejudice in Japan, where like people would have expectations about me, and they were usually positive ones, right? But there were still assumptions and expectations, and so Matsi, I don't know what happened here. I don't even know how I'm in first place right now. What's going on? I better get back in on this. This is a new one. We just added these today. We added the little spinner objects, which I think are pretty cool. This is a tough one, but I think it's going to get stuck over there and it's going to drop in 3. So yeah, that'll probably be the only real negative I had to living in Japan. This is great. This is one of the longer play tests I've done. And happy to see that it seems to be working well, because I had been previously experiencing some problems where it would like basically disconnect and stop reacting to chat messages. Yeah, Kento456 is regretting the early vote. Yeah, I think maybe the spinners are a little bit too heavy right now, so they don't react too much to the ball. Let's see what do we have here. Doing well. Matsi gonna slide into second place here. Matsi, why don't you equip an emote, bro? What the heck? Unless you've gone AFK. We want Nihongo no Haishin reward. Oh, yeah. So I actually did post a video on YouTube recently speaking in Japanese. My game Pro Gymnast, I discovered a... oh, Matsi, so just do exclamation point emote, space, and then any emote you want, and that will become your picture in the leaderboard. Here, I'm going to update mine to be the jelly car one. So just exclamation point emote, and then any emote you want. You have to do... Yeah. That should have got it, right? Setting Matsi makes, yeah. It said it. Anyway, there was a Japanese streamer who I discovered who was playing Pro Gymnast, and I went and watched their stream once, and it was really cool. And then they streamed it again, and so I joined this chat this time and kind of like chatted them up, and they're like, "Oh, the dev is in the stream," kind of thing. And it was really fun. And in that stream, he had created some custom levels, and so I coerced him into sending me the custom levels he made. And so then I made a YouTube video where I played his levels and beat all 3 of them. And I was speaking in Japanese in the video because it was intended for, you know, him and his audience. So if you want to hear my... Now, you know, I've been back in the States for well over 10 years. So my ability is not quite as good as it was when I was there. But you know, yeah, feel free to check it out. I think I have a. Does this work? Yeah, there you go. You can check out my YouTube channel. I usually post these dev videos, as well as like, you know, the trailer for my game and stuff like that on there. But there is that one random Japanese language video if you want to check it out. I could add a redemption though for randomly, you know, speaking in Japanese for 30 seconds or something. Man, this thing's really getting caught up on these spinners. This is gonna be hard to predict where it's going. So yeah, if anyone has any feedback on this game I'm working on, I'd love it. I'm feeling pretty good about it. Pretty soon I'm going to start trying putting it back into my streams and have it constantly running during the streams. Right now I think it's not that visually appealing. I'm going to keep it simple, like just like flat colors. But actually the next thing on the to-do list is to add a palette system in so that we can specify a palette, and then it will recolor the whole game with some kind of rules to which colors from the palette get applied to which things. And so then we should be able to go find some cool palettes and assign them, and then make that easy, and so that way maybe if other streamers want to use this game, they can, and they can customize it to their however they want it to look. But also just for me, I want it to look a little nicer. Right now it's just a bunch of colors I chose as I went, so there's no real rhyme or reason to them. Yeah, and so then other than that, the palette thing, and then the ball visuals are kind of temporary right now. I think I'll possibly have a few different ones, like one that looks like a tennis ball and is bouncy like a tennis ball, one that looks like a ping pong ball and is even more bouncy, maybe one that looks like a billiards ball or something and is a little heavier and less bouncy. And then other than that, I really want to come up with something cool to happen when a raid comes into the channel so that I won't miss it like I did today. But I'm trying to think of what I could do with this game to incorporate the fact that a raid happened and sort of shout out the raider. Oh, speaking of which, here, Matsu, this is like 6 hours overdue. You just do it like this? Yeah. I do have that thing. I just never actually did it. Vlad H, I don't know. This might take a pretty significant bounce. Yeah. Yeah. But now where is it going? I think it still might actually be going in 2. I believe. You just have to believe. Let's see. We're going to get a little preview here. Oh my god, it's going over into 3. I think it's going over into 3. S Tier Games 1 is coming in with a late 3 vote, and I think that may pay off. Let's see. One of the reasons also the pace of the game is a little bit slow is I'm trying to accommodate stream delay. So that's why there's big chunks of time where there's a single point value to try and, make a window big enough. Vlad H, you've lost your faith. Matzi comes in with the snipe with the 100 points, 3 vote. Matzi, what do you got there? Oh, also there are multipliers. So if you keep getting it right, you get a multiplier. So you're kind of incentivized to try not to mess up. Kent0456, let me know how you want me to actually pronounce your handle. But yeah, the name of this project is Chat Predicts. I think is going to be the proper name of it. Ooh, this is a rough one. This is going to be a rough bounce. Kent seems to work. Okay. Yeah, so this is Chat Predicts. So there's a few things I need to do. I need to add a leaderboard, like an all-time leaderboard. Like maybe the top somewhere. It's like all-time top 3 scores ever achieved in the game. I need to save some data so that it will remember things like emote preferences. So if I stop the stream and then start it up again, you don't have to like retype emote every time. It can remember you, kind of thing. We're getting some weird artifacts on the trail there. But it looks like it's going in bucket 1. I'm going to come in with at least a 100-point snipe here. So yeah, I need to do the I need to do the palette. I need to make a few more layouts, maybe make a few different ball types. Saving and loading, high scores. And I think that's, the majority of it. Unless, of course, I get some feedback or have spark of information. Oh, and then, of course, as I said, I want to do something when a stream comes in. My current thought is not when a raid comes in. My current thought is, okay, so what if when a raid comes in, you get that thing you get in like shooter games where it says like warning or something. It interrupts the current round, unless you're in the recap, I guess, in which case it lets the recap finish. And then it brings up a special level, and then it says like, boss, and it says the name of the raider. And then it gives you a few seconds, and you have to vote which bucket you think will get the most balls in it, and then it's going to drop as many balls as there are members of the raiding party. So like today, I think Matzi came in with 13, right? So it would have been like, warning, boss, incoming boss, Matzi makes. And then it would say like, 13 incoming, 13 drop of 13 incoming or something. And then it's like, get your votes in. And then it wouldn't be like for different point tiers. It would just be one round of voting. And you're like, okay, well, I don't know which one just like statistically is the most likely bucket or something. And then you would pick that. And then it would just drop all the different balls in for the number of raiders. And then I guess it would be based on like how many, how close you were or something. Or if you got the bucket with the most, then you get a huge point bonus or something. I don't know. That's currently the best idea I have to sort of incorporate raids into the game. If anyone has any better ideas, I am all ears because I don't really know. I'm sure there's a more interesting, option. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything in the chat. I'm not that accustomed to actually having this many people here talking, so I gotta make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, I think I'm pretty much caught up. Yeah, so this is sort of a little side project. I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's kind of a fun thing to incorporate into the stream. I probably need more board layouts. I only have 5 right now. Matzi's asking, are you going to use it just for your stream or release it? Well, really that just sort of depends on if there's any interest. If people like it, then I am certainly incentivized to release things like this. I would probably put it up on Steam for like, $5 or less or something, and see if other streamers want to pick it up, and then I could add some more features over time and something. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of, I haven't really seen something quite like this. I'd say the biggest downside to this is that it takes up space in your stream. Unlike Kent, thank you for the follow. Unlike stream avatars or some of the ones that are sort of like, have like a transparent overlay. I mean, this game could have a transparent overlay, I suppose, but it's kind of works better, I think, as its own little window. You have to dedicate some of your space on your stream to it. But I think the kind of cool thing about it is that I hope it's the right balance of something interesting for chat to do while they're watching your stream. It doesn't take over the stream too much, or maybe occasionally, like everyone kind of looks over and is like, "Whoa, what's going on?" Oh, like right now, Matzi, holy cow, I'm kicking butt. You can see it says AFK for a bunch of us because a bunch of us have stopped voting. Ooh, where's this going? Yeah. So, yeah, give up on voting, y'all. Yeah, everybody go AFK so Matzi can claim all the prestige and victory. But yeah, I haven't really seen this format before, where there's something that's sort of like a little idle game that's constantly going on. I mean, I guess Stream Avatars is kind of like that. With the like sling commands and stuff. But this has like a leaderboard and stuff. The interesting thing, though, is with someone with my score, Matsi is saying, yes, Matsi, continue. I'm more motivated to wait longer and less likely to lose points. Yeah, that's a good point. Because right now, really, what you should do is you should wait to the 100 round, and you should get in your vote each time, because you'll earn points then. And if you get one wrong right now, your score is going to get cut in half. So you're right. I don't know if I love that incentive. And there's a multiplier. You're right. The multiplier is compounding that. That's interesting. So there's a couple different. Yeah, it's kind of a runaway winning. I mean, certainly people could catch up to you, but they would. You're right. It's like as long as you're paying attention, Matsi, you're essentially never going to lose points. So I could try a couple different things. Like I could make that last voting tier kill your multiplier or something like that. It's a little hard to communicate, so I don't love that. But this is good. This is the first playtest I've had that's this long, so we can start to really see what it's like to... And kind of, I need to think then about my scoring system a little bit. Yeah. Because right now, Matsu, you are definitely incentivized to just sort of like camp on the late votes. Yeah, so I either need to find a way for that strat to not work. Or find a way to give people a bigger boost to catch up. But yeah, I'll have to give this some thought, because I definitely agree. I don't love the dynamic there. I mean, Matsu says, I'm being rewarded for paying attention to the game. That's true. I mean, technically right now, the only reason you have this much of a lead is due to you being more attentive to the game. Like, certainly... But the problem is, yeah, once we get in this situation, does it feel like, why should I even play? I'm not even going to ever catch up to that other person. I mean, obviously, if it was like a really long stream... I don't really do really long streams, but for people that do... It might not be as big a deal, because Matsi, in theory, at some point you would leave, or you'd go AFK, or you'd go lurk, and then your score would start to drop. And we could actually make it... It's a fixed number right now, I think. It's like a certain number, like a couple hundred points each time. But it could be a percentage. Like your score drops by 8% each time. So if you have a big score, you're going to drop... you're going to kind of like... drop faster. Which is probably a good idea. I'm going to write down some of these things. So, make AFK penalty. To be honest, the score loss actually has a negative feeling on wanting to play. Losing half your score seems like a huge loss. Yeah. Well, we've just discovered really that, like... I mean, really, right now, if you got any good score at all, you should always vote. Or no, you're like incentivized to either just skip a round, because you won't lose that many points, or vote right at the end. Yeah. Yeah, I have to think about this a little bit. Like, I mean, my goal is... It's a skill-based game, so I want to keep it skill-based. But what I would love is for the scores to kind of fluctuate over time, so that it's, it's interesting. But that's a little tricky to do if I keep it completely skill-based. I mean, I guess what we need, seems like what we need, is that when you have a big score, either one or two options, when you have a big score or when you're in the top places. Like, we could do something, we could have some scoring that takes into account your place in the leaderboard, or it could just be that when you have a high score, but there's something precarious about that. Like, you're more likely to have a loss of some kind, right? And so to think about how that would work. Yeah. In a way that's like simple and easy to understand, you know, so you don't have to like know a bunch of outside knowledge about the game. I mean, another thing though is I can adjust how much of the trajectory you get to see. And so right now that last 100-point round might be too easy. I mean, that might be an interesting thing as well. Like I can just go here and say, for example, like this. Let's try this. Okay, so now what it's going to do is the 100-point round is only going to show 80% of the path of the ball instead of what it was showing, which was 90%. Do I lose a multiplier if I don't vote for round? Good question. Check. Check, and I think that should be the case, right? Check AFK and kill multiplier. I think it kills it. This might be kind of a boring one because it's looking like kind of like a straight shot here. Let's look here. So this is the 100-point round coming up. So you only see that much of it. Now, in this case, this is a really boring one, so you're still going to be able to get the answer. But let's see here. I could even get rid of the 100 round altogether, for example. This is all pretty easy to configure. Now, see, Matsu, you got 10,100 points for that. But have you gone AFK for a single round? You probably haven't. At least not lately. You have? Okay. Missed a round or two. It may just be also that my multiplier is accumulating too quickly. Where is that? That's this. It's actually, it's not even a multiplier. It's just bonus points. It's win streak. You get a 200-point bonus, and then it caps out at 10,000, which is really, maybe this is way too high. And right now the AFK penalties do escalate. But it's like, you can be AFK for like 3 rounds-ish, and then it's like 100 points, minus 200 points, 300, 400, then it's just minus 500 forever after that. So that, like, is so much smaller than 10,000 that maybe these are out of whack. Yeah, we should do a scoring pass. It might just be that I just need to adjust these thresholds and stuff. But look at this one. See, this is the 100 one. So this, I mean, this is still pretty easy to guess, I guess. Right? Like, you can pretty much tell it's going in bucket 1 here. But there was a meaningful amount of the trajectory there that you didn't get to see. Yeah, so that was a free AFK right there, Matsi. If you vote on the next one, if you're still around, we can see if it kept your win streak bonus. But this is an easy one. Last one, then I must go. Yeah, no problem. I need to wrap it up as well. It's pretty late, and I think your time zone wise is even later than here. Matsi, thanks again so much for the raid. Give my daughter the opportunity to sing our awesome new raid song, and then the ridiculous show of generosity with the hype train and all the gift subs. Thank you so much. Really don't know what to say other than thank you, and obviously I will continue to hang out in your streams, not just because of your generosity here, but because I very much enjoy hanging out in your streams, and of course Composies as well. Yeah, okay. Oh, I missed it. Did you get... I didn't even see. Did you get a point bonus that time? Or did it reset? I mean, it's easy enough. I can check the code after this. Yeah, I know. I didn't look either. It's too busy talking. Yeah, so today we got in these new spinners. we got in this sort of not that satisfied with it rewind effect. And then we had an amazing stream. Ooh. Hi, Matzi. Have a good night. Thanks again. Thanks so much. S-tier games might be cool if every 20 rounds it would do double or nothing. I like that. That's really cool. Yeah. Infrequent. I'm going to call it the equalizer round. It might also be a way to sort of clean up AFK players who have been in the stream but then since left. I have to think about that, but I like that idea quite a bit. And that would add some drama to the game too. So it's not just this constant thing that's always like at this volume, so to speak. So like every now and then it's like boom, something interesting happens and everyone want, you know, the streamer and the chat want to like go look at it. I like that idea quite a bit. That's a cool idea. Okay. And then I'm going to tune the trajectory thresholds. Okay, I got a great to-do list. This is fantastic. We got a good play test. Seems like people enjoyed the game, but we also have a bunch of things here that I can work on, which is great. Awesome. I think now, so I'll probably do some of this off stream, and then maybe next stream I'll try to actually integrate this in and see what it's like to have it running. This is by far the longest I've ever had this run without any kind of connection errors or anything, so that's particularly encouraging. Seems to be working pretty well. S-tier Games, thanks for the follow. And thank you for the suggestion. I really like that suggestion. That's a really great idea. Something that happens every so often that just like ups the stakes and is a big leaderboard kind of shake-up opportunity. Yeah, I like that a lot. I kind of want it to be the case, you know, that you expect to lose points. You know, like that points are going to come and go. You're going to have a hot streak where you do really great, and then you're going to lose some, and you're going to drop back down. And if that's the case, then having an all-time leaderboard will be pretty cool because it's like, oh, if you at one moment hit a new high score, you know, that will stick around, which I like that idea. This board is kind of cool. This one's kind of pachinko-y. Oh, I need to fix that thing too. I don't like how it resets halfway through sometimes. I want it to do a full pass before it resets. That's easy. I have it on my to-do list. I just need to do it. All right, well, I think I'm going to wrap it up for the night. That was a very exciting and eventful stream. Thanks so much, everyone, for hanging out and play testing my game. And now that y'all have a gift subs, feel free to come by and hang out in the future. Help me make this game cool. And then the other thing I normally am doing here is I'm working on Pro Gymnast. So I'm mostly working on updates to that game right now. I've been working on them quite a bit, but I haven't been streaming it as much, just because I've been working on Steam Workshop features, so it's not particularly interesting. I'm just slowly slogging through trying to set up UI so you can save a level to the workshop, and then now next I have to set it up so you can view the levels that are on the workshop and download them and stuff. So it's not the most interesting work, and I've been kind of trying to squeak it into different points in my day that aren't really like, let's sit down and do a full-on stream. So for now, the streams have been more fun for me to do as like a couple hours of work on this game. And I got a long to-do list, so maybe actually the next stream will be this game. Maybe I'll try and have it running over there and also work on it at the same time. Why not? That'll be interesting. So yeah, once again, thanks everyone for coming by. Let's pass on the raid love here. Let me see if there's someone who's streaming in the streaming game dev or anything right now that we know. There's a couple folks. All right, let's see. Let's do this.
5.
Oops, sorry about that. Okay. All right, we're gonna go. If anyone wants to come along, we're gonna go say hello to Mercenary Mage, who I've seen a few times. And yeah, thanks so much everyone for hanging out and all the gift sub and hype train action and checking out the game and the great suggestions. Really appreciate it. Very much. And so I'll probably be back. I don't know, maybe in a couple days probably. I usually stream around this time, kind of like California time, 9 to 11 or midnight. A couple times a week, but it's not on a set schedule at the moment. And yeah, so I'll be back probably in a couple days to do some more work on Chat Predicts. Getting pretty close here to having a really fully functional game, so that's exciting. I think the next thing we'll do is we'll do the palettes, so it looks really nice. We'll do some of these scoring tweaks, and then maybe a few more interactable objects to make different boards. And yeah, so that's kind of what's on the list. Thanks again. So if anyone wants to come along and say hello to Mercenary Mage, who's also a game dev streamer. Otherwise, thanks so much for hanging out, and have a good night.
This isn't how